This episode of Total Drama Reviews contains clips from Total Drama Action. I do not own Total Drama Action. All rights go to FreshTV. Remember to be civil and do not be me in the comments. Seriously, it can get really messed up. Carpe diem, my name is Ultranatic, and this is Total Drama Reviews. This is where I, as a lover of animation and reality shows, look over the show that combine them together the best. And we're looking at the prehistoric genre tackling episode 1,000,000 Bucks BC. Now, this is a genre that should be much closer to home for me, especially considering I'm not even sure it's a full-fledged genre. Oh, there are definitely films set in prehistoric times, but a majority of them are animated movies directed at kids. Of course, some of them are very mature, practically grown-up films, but some are less so.
Meteor shower! Meteor? Shower?
That's not to say this genre is terrible. I mean, we're talking about the genre with dinosaurs in it. I'd love to see them go full Jurassic Park here.
Nice to see you all decked out for the competition. And might I say, you all look pretty hysterical.
Or we're going the caveman route. Less awesome, but no less significant. Heck, one of the earliest and most popular animated shows focused on cave people.
Meet the Flintstones, they're the modern Stone Age family.
So I gotta respect them for putting this genre in the shuffle. So will this episode be as awesome as the T-Rex? Or will it be so bad only a caveman could have written it?
What? Not cool.
Sorry, forgot about you. For good reason. This is 1,000,000 Bucks BC. So we open with the characters waking up and Lashana being mad about her fate last episode.
Did they leave me here on purpose all because of one teeny tiny mistake?
You stole my spa day. Do the crime, do the time.
That bookmark alert might be a bit vague, but I'll explain what it was for later.
And what is it you planned on doing at the spa with that wash and go hair?
Oh no, I've got my hair in a knot. Beth, could you? Here, let me. It kills me that Lindsay has all that hair on her head when it's her fault that I lost mine. I would have chopped it off, but all I had was a hairbrush.
You know, it's fitting that Heather, the calm, calculated, drama-inducing Queen Bee, is in an episode regarding the Stone Age, because she actually devolves into something much more primal as a villain. The best comparison I can make for her is Cruella de Vil, but for humans.
I don't care how you kill the little beast, but do it! And do it now!
Okay, to be clear, she doesn't want to skin people, but she does want to gain her own hair from another contestant.
I have got to get me some hair. Not Lashana's gross weave or Beth's pathetic ponytail, and I'm way too smart to be Lindsay blonde, but Courtney's hers would be perfect. I'm just gonna borrow these, okay?
So in that respect, she is now Cruella de Vil. Not that she didn't already have a lot in common with the classic Disney villain. Both are very high maintenance, formal, and have an elegance to them, but also have a temper when things don't go their way.
Now listen, you idiots. I'll be back first thing in the morning, and the job better be done or I'll call the police. Do you understand?
You want drama? You'll be penniless, jobless. Your name will be mud on every vlog from here to Cape Breton.
Literally, the only thing separating them was their motivation, but now Heather kind of shares that with her too. But ironically, even though she's got a similar goal to Cruella, she acts less like this.
My only true love, darling. I live for furs. I worship furs.
And more like this.
Fur would be inappropriate.
But it's my only true love, darling. I live for fur. I worship fur.
Yes, I'm aware it's the same character and the same plan, but it's a completely different personality.
If we make this coat, it would be as if I were wearing your dog. Woof, woof.
But between both versions, Heather acted more like anime Cruella in the first season.
Anita, darling.
How are you?
Miserable, darling, as usual. Perfectly wretched.
I am so glad they included Grape-tastic Pop in your reward last night, Heather.
How can you drink this sugar water?
And in the second season, especially here, she's more like Glenn Close's portrayal, which is fitting since she's
My cozy puppy coat.
ironically even cartoonier than the cartoon version, which is saying quite a lot.
Nothing gets past me.
I got some! Courtney's hair. Soon, it will be mine. All mine.
I'm not crazy. I'm just bald.
Either way, it makes for a fantastically entertaining arc for Heather, even if it's not to be taken all that seriously.
Great to have your hair. Here, it's great to have you here, Courtney.
But without Heather, who do we have to fill out the villain role with dignity?
Isn't anyone glad to see me?
No! Well, excuse us for living!
And look, I stand by what I said in my last review about liking Courtney as a character, but that doesn't mean I can defend everything about her entrance this season. For example,
Thanks to Courtney's lawsuit, she'll be playing by a different set of rules. Let's call them Courtney's rules, in honor of Courtney, who gets special treatment.
yes, Courtney is being given special privileges that the other contestants can't have.
Rule 1. Notwithstanding that contestants are not permitted contact with the outside world, the contestants hereafter referred to as Courtney may retain a personal digital assistant, aka her PDA.
Now, I can defend her being put in the game and even being given immunity for the last vote. After all, she got cheated out of the first season and no one ever stepped in.
I do not concede! I do not concede!
And also wasn't accepted into this season for, let's be honest, BS reasons.
Your treasure hunt ends here, along with all your hopes of ever winning any money off of being on this show.
Wait a minute! I want to be on season 2!
Tut, tut, tut. Fine print.
And the reason for her being granted immunity is because, well, she joined the season mid-game. Even though she's automatically in the single-digit placements this season, that is a major disadvantage for her. People on the other teams have already grown bonds together and would obviously target her as an easy vote, as well as vote her for just being a pain in the ass.
Faster, you deadbeats! The teams aren't called the gappers and the slackers! Now move! Mush, mush!
However, can I defend Courtney's rules? No, not really. They basically make her the only have in a season of have-nots.
Rule 2. Whereas contestants shall continue to receive allocated meals provided by Chef Hatchet, Courtney shall be entitled to a gourmet dining experience with parties consisting of producers and myself as applicable.
No way!
Now with that said, if this makes you as angry as the contestants, well, therein lies the positive side of all this. Because Chris is purposefully putting Courtney in the worst light possible so that everyone will hate her even more.
Let's see your lawyers get you out of this one.
What? I'm still sleeping in the girls' trailer.
Where she will have a pure goose down pillow, extra lofty comforter, and 700 thread count sheets. Oh, and her own private bathroom.
Honestly, that's not necessary. She alienates people just fine on her own. But that's what you get for suing this evil TV show that disregards human life consistently. A thought occurs to me that Courtney suing Total Drama makes her much more of a hero than anyone gives her credit for. Not that she acts like one, though.
Nice. Our spoiled princess didn't waste any time hooking herself up.
And you didn't waste any time hooking up with Gwen after I left.
My relationships are none of your business.
You're on TV. They're everyone's business.
Again, I understand that Courtney's abrasive and overbearing personality are truly loathsome, but for selfish reasons, I still enjoy her this season because we finally have a character reiterating what I've been thinking all along.
While I'm touched, you're obviously still hot for me. My relationships are none of your business.
You're on TV. They're everyone's business.
Yes, someone else freaking said it! If you sign up for a reality show, you take the risk that everything you say and do is being filmed and most people can and likely will see it. Now, that being said...
You didn't waste any time hooking up with Gwen after I left.
Yeah, Courtney's overreacting to the whole Gwunkin situation. At this time. I mostly overlooked that because, well, Gwunkin has kind of been established since Hook, Line, Screamer, debatably.
You really are a pyro, aren't you?
I like burning stuff.
Is that what you went to juvie for?
Like I tell you why I went to juvie.
And because her jealousy might have been minor originally, but was primarily ignited during the aftermath.
Things were going great until Gwen and I were split on different teams, and she and Duncan started hanging out.
Ugh, Duncan is so gonna get it.
I've got a lot of love for all of you guys.
For anyone else? Duncan, maybe?
Besides, for a show with drama in its freaking title, it's about dang time some well-established and developed examples of it were being focused on. I mean, you have a showman with a rocky but exciting origin who got broken up unfairly yet always kept their feelings for each other.
I vote for Heather because I know she's behind Courtney getting kicked off. If you're watching this on cable, I miss you, babe.
Who would I like to win? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I'd have to pick Duncan. Don't tell the others though, okay?
But who both still prove to be selfish teenagers with their own agendas that they try balancing with this relationship. And now, after all this time, are being put on separate teams to compete. Oh wait, this might be a problem.
Gwen and Trent will now be able to pick their teams, which means they'll be competing against each other this season.
Actually, no, this is better, because Gwen and Trent were a touch more concerned with each other than the actual game.
Thing is, if Gwen wants to win, why is it unethical for me to help her? I'm Trent first and a killer grip second.
He's throwing challenges for me again. I do not want to win this way.
However, Dunkney, while they're still hot for each other, are here for the money first and foremost. And that objective brings out their competitive sides to the nth degree.
She is a total drama queen.
Why? Because I think you're a dog for hooking up with Gwen?
I did not hook up with Gwen. Having Courtney back reminds me how much she drives me crazy. And how much she drives me crazy.
I watched the show. I know what I saw between Duncan and Gwen.
Seriously, this showman is ironically also a savagely primal rivalry. And speaking again of primal,
Today's genre, the period movie. Our period is the Paleolithic period.
Paleo-lipstick? It's the Stone Age. We're going to be cave girls.
and for this genre, everyone will get their own cave garments to wear.
And might I say, you all look pretty hysterical. Who knew I'd look so hot in leopard skin?
Speaking objectively, I think everyone on Earth would look good in leopard skin. Colin Mockery would look good in leopard skin if you want the bar of attractiveness to be set. Although props for giving Justin the second smallest loincloth of the bunch. As well as giving Lindsay a pink leopard skin bikini, which I don't think pink leopards exist, but then again.
Do we get wigs?
Chef, do we have a wig?
Oh, it smells like raw meat.
Oh, so this show steals from Lady Gaga's wardrobe too. That explains a lot.
First team to collect the hidden firewood and use the flint stones to make fire earns something to help them with the second challenge.
Alright, an actual challenge from Survivor is being utilized. A very common one, actually.
It is a fire-making challenge. You each have the same materials. You each have flint and steel in the form of a knife. You must build a fire with a flame high enough to burn through the rope. When you burn through the rope, you'll ring a bell.
Of course, Duncan gets a few advantages of his own confiscated, leaving me with several questions as to how those things were hidden. I mean, I know where they were hidden. I wasn't born yesterday, but how were they hidden there?
I'm like a man, just less advanced, and my anus is huge.
You know what? I'd rather not know. But Duncan rehides his lighter from Chef as something distracts the two of them.
Those killer beavers are animatronic, right?
Animatronic? Of course.
I love how after all this time, the characters are still under the impression these animals aren't real. I mean, Duncan got carried by a prehistoric animal once. There's only so far something like that can be faked.
Help me! Way to get the wood, teammate. No!
Okay, everyone talks about how awful Duncan is to Harold, and they're right, he's relentless with the guy. And honestly, even I can't really defend it anymore because, one, what was his original reasoning for it again?
You want to know why I pick on Harold? It's Courtney. Harold got Courtney booted last season.
Well, that was understandable, but Courtney is back in the game. My call justice served on this one, especially since she committed her own revenge by wrapping a light pole around his body like a Twizzler. But the other reason people might defend it is that he's a bully, he's a delinquent, it's just his character. And fine, it's in character, but there's only so far that can go before his bullying actively hurts the team. I don't just mean hurting Harold, I mean that he's disadvantaging his own team by tripping up Harold, who's only trying to help.
Way to get the wood, teammate.
And Duncan, given your ultra-competitive girlfriends in the game, I'd argue priorities take precedence. Speaking of,
get it. How do you make fire with a rock? Give me those. Courtney thinks she knows everything, but she doesn't know that when I was 12, my flat iron once accidentally set fire to my grandma's house. Twice!
I'd like to point out that, even though I think Courtney is a consistently good character throughout the season, when Lindsay is at her best, I do prefer her, and even at her stupidest, she's still pretty funny.
I'm surrounded by loons!
Where?
Oh, I love ducks!
And it doesn't help that a few of Courtney's old habits haven't really died yet.
I'll have this going in no time. I was a CIT, you know.
Oh, she is not back on that again.
I think at this point, CIT stands for something other than counselor in training. Not that I agree with that, but the more she brings it up, the more it does enforce that.
Things are finally heating up.
Go, Duncan! Burner!
I love it when sparks fly.
I make fire!
Courtney, I thought for sure you'd be the first to burst into flames.
Oh, you obviously gave me fake flints. Nobody could start a fire with these ridiculous props. Fire!
Okay, can I just point out all the things I love about this scene? 1. Courtney losing out to her boyfriend.
I make fire!
Courtney, I thought for sure you'd be the first to burst into flames.
2. Chris being savage, which is further evidence that Courtney's rules are a legal necessity and nothing more. If anything, he wants her out of the game more than the other contestants do.
Let's see your lawyers get you out of this one.
3. Lindsay making fire instead with almost no effort. Which is probably all it took to set her flat iron on fire both times. And 4. Courtney stomping away in a tantrum.
Oh, you obviously gave me fake flints.
Yeah, I don't care if I defend her or not. I like her in the same way I like Veruca Salt. Both are completely entitled brats who bring some legitimately good drama, but it's so satisfying when they don't get what they want.
Hey, Daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa. I want you to get me an Oompa Loompa right away.
All right, Veruca, all right. I'll get you one before the day's out.
I want an Oompa Loompa now.
Can it, you nit?
Not the last time I'm going to compare Courtney to Veruca Salt either. We then get the second part of the challenge where the teams are given bones with a slight caveat.
Hey, what gives? We won the challenge. I made fire.
Actually, you didn't. We reviewed the footage caught on camera. You made fire with a lighter, which is not a Stone Age tool. Which means Lindsay made fire first. The grips are the winners!
Hey, Chris adhering to his own rules again. Those are probably the results of Season 4. So the next challenge is 2 people on top of pillars having to battle each other in duels to knock the other one off.
Each player that knocks his or her opponent off the column into that fake bubbling tar pit scores a point for their team.
Another classic Survivor challenge. I am really appreciating these references.
For today's challenge, you're going to square off one-on-one, sumo style. Using a padded bag, you will try to knock your opponent off the platform and into the water.
I'm supposed to knock her off with this teensy-weensy little bone?
How do we know when to start?
That was way too easy.
So the next matchup is Beth and Heather, and given how little love I have for Beth, you can guess who I'm rooting for.
Why don't you just jump off now and save us all the time?
Would falling from that platform equal a point on the casualty counter? No, it would have worse bruised her, but despite that, you know what this reminds me of?
Why don't you just jump off now and save us all the time?
You can quit or you can jump in that fire, whichever is more convenient for you.
Trust me, you don't want to be compared to that guy. But okay, Heather said something I don't approve of. That doesn't mean I by default am rooting for Beth, does it?
When I knocked Heather off her high pedestal and made her fall into a pit of bubbling tar, that was my high point of the competition. Maybe my whole life.
Yes! Yes! There we go! That's what I've been looking for from Beth! For once, Beth is in a position where I'm on her side, with her being proud of letting Heather take that fall. Which Okay, Heather, word of advice, would you quit giving people reasons to have you fall from high perches?
You're jumping!
Make me. Your afro is so big, it has its own gravity.
Oh, I'll give you gravity!
Let go! You let go! Okay.
That's a metaphor for something.
Well, that was my high point of the competition.
And yeah, that is a high point for Beth. Heck, it even tops her firing paintballs at Heather. Because those would hurt and bruise, but you recover easily. However, falling from several feet in the air would definitely take longer to heal. Also, for once, Beth isn't acting like the hero. She's just showing how happy she is that she let her worst enemy have some justly dished out karma.
Why don't you just jump off now and save us all the time?
Let go! You let go! Okay.
So good job, Beth. I briefly like you in this scene. Don't get used to it.
And that evens the score at 1-1 for the Grips and the Gaffer. Next up, Justin and Harold.
That shot of me standing atop the stone column?
Well, we know the Grips don't get a point, but even though they kinda give away the outcome immediately, the match is still pretty entertaining, with some interference from the woolly beavers as well as Dunkstradamus.
Beavers can't swim through tar!
Their teeth are the size of railway spikes!
Don't be a whim! The columns are plaster, not wood, and beavers can't climb! I guess my knowledge of prehistoric beavers is a little rusty.
And I'll even give the half spoiler a pass because it really was just a half spoiler as both players fall.
Would have preferred to see some beaver carnage, but you can't have everything. Anyways, that leaves the teams tied.
Well, actually, Harold hits the tar first, so technically the points should go to the Grips. But they're on such a consistent losing streak, why muck it up now?
And us with a grudge match between Duncan and Courtney on the same column. You just can't write this stuff.
I'm going to maintain the illusion of this being real, but you can write this stuff, you did write this stuff, and good job for writing this stuff.
Don't get too hyped. Duncan won't last more than 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, now that's the stuff.
Call me Mr. Flintstone, I can make your bed right.
You knew that was coming. But Courtney bones Duncan. You expect too highly of me, and he falls off with the Grips properly weighing a challenge. I play that clip of pigs flying again, but it's frickin' 2020, anything's possible.
Sure, Duncan has this primal animal magnetism, but he also makes me want to hit him where it hurts.
Scenes like this show why I like and respect Courtney. She takes no prisoners, not even her boyfriend. And doing so earned her team the reward. 2 more Flintstones references.
They win today's reward, a mammoth-sized prehistoric barbecue.
It's a little.
So we've got prehistoric beavers, geese, and now mammoth-sized ribs. If only this had been John Hammond's vision.
Ha ha ha! Barbecue time!
But after a series of unfortunate events, yeah, you knew what I meant, we get Heather going savage on a prehistoric animal, all for her precious Wilma and Pebbles hybrid-style wig.
Give me back my wig! Nobody messes with my hair!
Yep, that is still the same Heather. All is forgiven for that earlier comment. So the episode ends with Courtney reaping her backup reward and Duncan getting ice for his groin.
Why do they always go for the kiwi?
This is not the first time Duncan's been hit in the crotch by Courtney, and it will not be the last either.
The girl's got a kick-butt lawyer. Can't harm a hair on her head.
Nothing gets past me.
I got some! Courtney's hair.
So to speak.
And that was 1 million bucks BC. Solid thumbs up. I guess there were a few awkward moments and a couple slip-ups regarding character, but nothing irredeemable though. They surprisingly took advantage of this prehistoric premise by just using classic Survivor challenges as templates. I can get down with that, along with several great jokes, and even my least favorite characters getting shown in a positive light for once. Do I still have issues with Courtney's rules? Yeah, but then again, so does the show, so at least they're self-aware on the problem. And even then, these rules aren't technically implemented until the end of this this challenge. So Courtney's performance here is all her own. No free passes, no legs up given, it's just her competitive nature making for an entertaining experience. So for a time period from which all life is now extinct, I'm happy to see this fossil has preserved quite nicely. But for anyone thinking Courtney's over-competitive nature didn't really fit with the episode's theme, I strongly disagree, but we do have another even more appropriate genre for that.
Today, you're all going to give 200% in our exciting sports movie challenge.
If you play it, we will come.